And all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people called me and said, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did for this morning? What happened? I said, let me arrest you for 30 million. My sister, 30 million? I didn't do anything with 30 million.
K News, K News, K News, K News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the court? Then you call the poll. Oh yeah, you know, I listen to Chemebele, the jack kept the poll while I do power plant. Why are you keeping the poll there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my beauty, my black bone, some of my
Where you say?
A pleasant good evening from Pennsville, outside the nation, capital Monrovia, and welcome to K News. K News is a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. My name is Benjamin Gabriel Kaber. On today's Wednesday, August 6, 2025 edition of K News, we take a short break. On return, we'll bring you the full package of the news. Welcome back to the news. We take our first story here, where the Joint Committee on Concession Compliance and Review at the 55th Legislature has disclosed that Human Grade Liberia Limited has acknowledged its financial obligation to the government of Liberia. During the Tuesday, August 5, 2025 public hearing, the committee revealed that the company's chief executive officer and administrative financial manager, Mr. Brett Ritchie and Klaus Massaquoi, admitted to owing the government approximately US $2.4 million. However, the Liberia Revenue Authority has placed the company's total arrears for the government at an amount of US $3.4 million. The public hearing is part of the legislature broader mandate to review dormant and underperforming concession agreements to ensure compliance, transparency, and delivery of benefits to affected communities. The company's acknowledgement marks a significant step in reconciling long-standing financial obligation. Representative for the family added that there is no mutual recognition of areas, though with differing figures, which gives the path toward resolution. The Bond County District 7 lawmaker added that the committee is optimistic that with continued engagement and enforcement, the matter will be concluded in the shortest possible time.
There have been a consistent, less effort placed in reviewing and ensuring that there is proper compliance with those laws that have been passed. As such, the House of Representatives, through the Speaker and Plenary, set up a joint committee to do full compliance review of all concessions. And that process is ongoing. As I speak to you, there are few concessions that have been invited. And those concessions, we are looking out for tax obligations, social contribution that they should do, basic obligations that are enshrined in the concession contract. So it is from that backdrop we are consistently following up on the compliance. Aspect of it is the issue of Hummingbird. Hummingbird has been one of those dormant concession contracts that has been signed, no active work been going on. So we wanted to know also where they are as a concession in terms of compliance, what is the benefit thereto, and what is it that they are putting in motion for the citizens to benefit in Sano and other counties in the southeast. Taking that into consideration, they have acknowledged from the area standpoint, there's an outstanding arrears of 3.4 million. From the Hamburg standpoint, they are acknowledging that they owe government something in the tune of 2.4 million. So at least we're getting somewhere. And I feel strongly within the next 60 days, we can be able to complete the issues on Hamburg and they can make payment to the government cover. That was not a payment that we're expecting, but based on the fact that we're willing to put our feet on the ground, that payment will be done in the shortest.
Eastbourne County District 7 representative for the Family Day. The Civil Servant Association of Liberia has announced its support for the planned peaceful demonstration against illicit drugs in Monrovia on August 7. The association's president, Moebai Johnson, described the drugs abuse as a growing threat to national security and the well-being of future generations. Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia on Tuesday, Mr. Johnson urged all civil servants to dedicate their spare time to participate in the demonstration and show solidarity in the fight against this national menace. He further called on the government to increase budgetary support for Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, noting that drugs laws are well funded and pose a serious challenge to the enforcement of drugs.
To be honest with you, we are in full support. As a matter of fact, it should be on the record that as the leadership of the Civil Servants Association of Liberia, we are in full support of our mothers that will be getting on the street on Thursday, August the 7th, to protest against illicit drug or drug abuse. We are in full support that we are with them, and we call all civil servants across the length and breadth of the Republic of Liberia to fully support, to lend their support to our mothers as we march against the use of illicit drugs in our country. Since the advent of the Civil War, Liberia has been battered by illicit drugs. Our young brothers and sisters almost every day are being recruited into the drug usage in our country. Now it is posing severe security risks, not only to the government itself, but the citizenry as a whole. Because as we speak now, across the country, throughout the 15 counties, you have illicit drug users all over the counties, almost all over the districts. So, in all districts. And so it has become a national security concern. On the basis of this, we are in full support of our mothers, our sisters that will be getting into the streets to demonstrate against the use of illicit drugs across our country. There should be non-bailable offense when it comes to drug peddlers. Those are bringing the drugs in our country. We want stringent measures to be taken against them. When people are arrested, they should be incarcerated and be sent to court. Besides that, government should also provide maximum support to the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, because our fear is that if the LDEA is not fully supported, I'm afraid compromises will take place. Those are bringing the drugs, they are millionaires, if not, they are wealthy people. Drugs have made them wealthy. So drugs have the ability to fight back. Those are fighting drugs in our country. If they are not properly equipped and if they are not properly supported, then of course the fight against illicit drug abuse in our country will be defeated.
He is Moebai Johnson, the president of the Civil Servant Association of Liberia. The youth wing of the Opposition Alternative National Congress has described as unfortunate the recent incident in which a woman gave birth in the yard of the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. Speaking at a press conference, ANC Secretary General Aliyu Kedi said the situation is deeply troubling and unacceptable in a country that is part of the 21st century. He, the memorial hospital, announcing an increase in the cost of delivery services, a move the ANC youth wing strongly opposes.
that we cannot pretend to ignore them until the end of the month. Recently, we witnessed a sad situation in our country. A scene that people shouldn't see. A scene that our country should be ashamed of. A pregnant woman giving birth on the street of JFK. That is an unfortunate situation. That shouldn't be happening in our country, a country that should be part of the 21st century. A country that says we have leadership that purport to have a president of 42 years of government experience. That shouldn't be happening. That is an unfortunate situation. Our parents are angry. Women across this country are angry. That is belittling. It is an unfortunate situation, like we said. And therefore, we call on the JFK to desist from instituting, should desist from operating. Most pregnant women in this country, after 9 months, you do not know give birth. So it is an emergency situation that our people should not be turned away because they don't have 65 USD to deposit in JFK covers before they can be attended to. The next time such a thing happens, we will not only vibrate the system, we will get on the street and demand a total overhaul of the JFK facility. Such a thing should not be happening. We thought at the age of the president, he would have gone for historical glory and honor, but unfortunately, the president has endeavored to live in luxury and vulgarities.
At the same time, Secretary General Keith Islam Daniel Sando of the Ministry of Information and Information Minister Jeremy Matthew Pierre for, in his word, ignoring the real problems affecting ordinary Liberians and focusing instead on political propaganda.
About those numbers. Instead, you come and play politics. No, nobody plays politics with real issues. If the people are hungry, there's no amount of propaganda that Daniel Sano and the Information Minister Jeremy Pierre can put out there to suggest that the people's stomachs are filled. When a hungry man is hungry, there's no propaganda that can suggest that the man's stomach is filled. Because these are realities. These are realities. When Patrick Honda generator makes over 3,000 USD and he goes to birthday parties and throw about money, these are real issues in the country that Daniel Sano and the next should be concerned about.
He's Aliu Kelly there speaking. The executive director of the Consumers' Rights Movement, Isaac Ross, is urging all Liberians to join the nationwide Say No to Drugs march scheduled for August 7 and avoid politicizing the event. Ross stressed that tackling the surge of drugs abuse requires collective action from citizens, not mere criticism from the sidelines. He said that while everyone has the right to participate in the march, it is equally important for people to understand the purpose of the demonstration. According to him, confronting drugs abuse in Liberia means more than speaking out. It is also involved bringing forward children, relatives, or community members struggling with substance abuse to highlight the dangers and consequences of such a lifestyle. Ross further called on citizens to work alongside the government in establishing a regulatory framework to curb drugs consumption, while he emphasized that decisive action can significantly reduce their prevalence in the country.
As a funder of the consumer right, I really love that everybody have the right to consume, right? And everyone will consume. what is true that you are coming on to march peacefully and asking your government to do this? The first thing, the question is there, have you asked yourself, what do we expect the government to do in this level that we're all consuming drugs in this country? Child in your house that's abusing alcohol, that is abusing drugs, and is your child. And you protect the child in your house. You get them food, you get them shelter, everything is your child. So are you bringing your child out tomorrow to say, yeah, my son is a drugs addict, yeah, my child is an alcoholic in the community? Or you just pushing the government to the wall?
Do you believe that illicit drug can be eradicated in Liberia?
Obviously, illicit drugs cannot be eradicated because all over the world, you cannot eradicate illicit drug. America got number one, the higher in the world. What about all? But the process of how do you deal with it, how do you regulate it is what we need to be discussing.
So do you mind giving out some recommendations to government on how to at least minimize illicit drugs in Liberia?
Of course, I don't need to push government to the wall, but first of all, I need to say that how can we as Liberians call our government attention to say, look, government, this thing we all have understand that it's going beyond. How can we sit on round table discussion in various communities and discuss the way up? Look, I will talk to you now on the radio. I got a child who is alcoholic.
So how's the feeling like seeing a child being an alcoholic? How does it feel? How do you cope with that?
It's so painstaking that we all need to understand these things from a diverse background and say, how do we push government to the wall? Because we see it in our home. It starts from our home. And it's a burden to
He's Isaac Ross, the executive director and founder of the Consumers' Rights Movement. The Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority has ended a one-day deliberation aimed at validating the prices of cocoa and coffee on the local and international market. Speaking during the opening ceremony, LACA Director General Dan Saye said the discussion is along with the arrest agenda of President Joseph Iman Boakai. According to Saye, farmers and exporters saw that the farmers will be able to live like middle-class business person and benefit from the basic social services. The LACA Director General stressed the need to stabilize the prices of cocoa and coffee so that they can benefit like partners in West Africa.
For the first time, we are having a stakeholder meeting, decide what price our cocoa should go for in Monrovia, what price they should go for in River G, what price the farmers sitting down in Lofa, in Varon, in every part of this country will buy a cocoa for a price that will be deemed fair for every actor. A system that will be deemed fair to local buyers who will buy and honor our system and structure that will receive a commission because he has been able to go in the bush to buy cocoa. We are here this morning to set history in place about transforming agriculture, about making sure that farmers don't come in their garden, on their farms. This is historic. It's historic because we believe 60% of you who sit around here, your parents brought you up through farming. Because we believe it is through agriculture that over 60% of our farmers are employed. This government, the vision number one is to set that stage. We are here to make sure that we become the operatives in the field, to create that enabling environment, to make sure that our farmers are served and given the opportunity so that tomorrow our children can have a better enabling environment for improved education system, for improved healthcare system, for better road conditions, and to live better for themselves and for their children. We are here in this business because we want to make sure that agriculture remains a success story. We believe you're going to work with us to do many other things that are beyond the scene that we are unleashing. This is just the beginning of some of the things that we plan to do. We are now also organizing ourselves to make sure that we do farmers mapping. And when we get done and get started with farmers mapping, we provide incredible data to our development partners, to our government. Farmers will be profiled. the sets of those farmers, their farm location, the GPS coordinate, and everything that is required to make sure that farmers can be located everywhere, to make sure that questions of traceability, which seem to be haunting Liberian cocoa, particularly from the southeast down, will be addressed. We will make sure that smuggling of cocoa across our border will be addressed.
Liberia is hosting the West Africa Logistics Conference, which focuses on strengthening regional security and improving military logistics across West African states. The conference aims to enhance defense practice, foster collaboration, boost readiness through innovation, and strengthen solidarity among regional militaries. Speaking at the opening of the conference, Defense Minister Geraldine George emphasized the importance of partnership, preparedness, and shared expertise among ECOWAS member states and African partners. Minister George highlighted logistics as the backbone of effective military operation in addressing transitional threats and humanitarian crises. The Defense Board thanked African partners for their ongoing support in training resources and technical assistance, which have significantly contributed to regional security. She called on delegates to work together with unity, innovation, and mutual respect to ensure a stable and secure West Africa.
This gathering underscores our collective commitment to strengthening regional security, enhancing interoperability, and optimizing logistic capabilities across our arms. In an era of evolving security challenges, from transnational threats to humanitarian crises, logistics remains the backbone of effective military operations. Liberia as a nation has experienced the transformation power of peacekeeping and security sector reform. Deeply appreciate the value of partnership, preparedness, and shared expertise. The presence of our ECOWAS brothers and sisters alongside our valued partners from Africa reaffirms our shared vision of a stable, secure, and prosperous West Africa. The conference presents an invaluable opportunity to enhance the practice in defense logistics and supply chain management, foster collaborations to address common security challenges, enhance readiness through innovation and capacity building, and to strengthen the bonds of solidarity amongst ECOWAS militaries. To our African partners, we extend our gratitude for your sustained commitment to Africa's security architecture. Your support in training, resources mobilization, and technical assistance continues to make a tangible difference. To our delegates, let us seize this moment to forge practical solutions that will alleviate our collective operational effectiveness. The security of one nation is linked to the stability of the entire West Africa. As we proceed with this conference, let us be guided by the principles of unity, innovation, and mutual respect. Liberia is proud to host this event, and we are confident that the outcome will significantly advance our shared security objectives. Welcome to Liberia. May our discussion be fruitful, and may we leave here with renewed vigor to serve our nation and our region.
For his part, U.S. Judge d'Affaires Joseph Sajosny described the ongoing logistic conference in Liberia as a pivotal movement in advancing security operation and strengthening networks across Africa. Speaking on behalf of AFRICOM, Sajosny emphasized that the conference marks a major milestone as the U.S. Africa Command prepares to transition from a regionally focused logistics approach. At the conference services, Sajosny also stressed the importance of building African logistics leadership, fostering a professional logistics cadre, and advancing AFRICOM 31st concept assessment, advice, advocate, and integrity. He also
We're here today at the opening of the West Africa Logistics Conference 2025 here in Liberia. This gathering represents half of the United States State Department. I want to express our alliance closely with our current administration's objectives of strengthening our security partnership with African nations through regional coordination and defense interoperability. We are enthusiastic to have several U.S. industry leaders and attempt to promote these goals through offering a range of top quality equipment. U.S. foreign policy will go a long way towards advancing mutual prosperity and shared security. We want to be your partners of choice, and to do so, we must be present and continue to offer the best. As I prepared for this conference over the weekend, I quickly realized that this conference is more than just a meeting of minds. It's a platform for action. State territories such as the Sahel are regions that are critical to our shared national security supply chains, and they face growing challenges, including destabilizing influences from external state and non-state actors. By building stronger regional network, vision inspires us all. And to U.S. industry, we welcome your participation and your keen interest in not only our nations, but the entire global.
As Joseph Sajosny earlier speaking, was Defense Minister Geraldine George. The House of Representatives has formally requested President Joseph Imam Boakai to place a temporary halt on the key functions of the Liberia Traffic Management Incorporated. The House, Madrid and Sion urged President Boakai to suspend the vehicle registration, driver's license, and license plate issuance in the concession agreement with the Liberia Traffic Management. The request follows the aggrieved commencement and exploitation in the vehicle registration and driver license issuance processes.
One of our cars was issued tickets and for wrongful registration, as you can see, all right, because he did his registration at Transport Ministry, and one of the officers from LTM office collected him, gave him tickets for wrongful registration. This thing is not good. This thing will bring a serious chaos in this country. The peaceful citizens are being harassed. It take months or two for somebody to generate $3,000 or $4,000 with the struggle. This thing is a serious issue, and the transport union is fully involved. Yeah, I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy.
Give you a copy. We got evidences.
I think I'm up there.
In solidarity with my people, especially the workers at the Ministry of Transport. My concern is the looming uneasiness we see occurring in the ministry. We are in direct solidarity. The rest of the civil servants of this country are in direct solidarity. Otherwise, let us not allow this wickedness to go through. It is something affecting it is my property to say the least. So see our government that we've so earnestly worked for and we brought into power, that we enter into a deal with foreign nationals to take the bread from our people's mouth, which is uncalled for. And more besides, the police are in the forefront of this thing, brutalizing our workers for speaking up for their own right, which it is uncalled for. It is uncalled for to say the least. We do not want this deal to go through.
Receiving the petition on behalf of the House of Representatives, the co-chair on claims and petition, Representative Jacob Debbie of District 3, Grangida County, disclosed the House decision of communicating the plight of the aggrieved protesters to the executive. He assured the aggrieved protesters that the House of Representatives will do all in its legislative authority to ensure the concession agreement is revisited.
There is a communication that we have a stay order on this whole process, and that we should write to the ministry. You cannot rest assured that the leadership is going to take a very decisive. You can rest assured that leadership is going to take a very decisive decision this afternoon. But please, I want you to know that it's going to take a very decisive. sure that leadership is going to take a very decisive decision this afternoon. But please, I want you to know that we recognize what you are doing out here. We couldn't sit there and continue the meeting without coming to acknowledge your presence. So please bear in mind that we are working in your interest, in the interest of the Liberian people. We are not going to be biased, we're going to be
afternoon.
Good afternoon,
So the concerns that you have is our concern. You elected us to be able to represent you.
Exactly.
And because of that, not only that we have to represent you, but we have to do the legal thing. And the Constitution, the act that established the Ministry of Transport, gets you that right. It can be referred. Concerns that you have is our concern. You elected us to be able to represent you.
Exactly.
And because of that, not only that we have to represent you, but we have to do the legal thing. And the Constitution, the act that established the Ministry of Transport, gets you that right. It can be reported to you, the Ministry of Transport, so that you can conduct the affairs while we return to session, and then plenary makes the final decision. So rest assured that we are in your shoes. We are understanding what you're going through. We can put hundreds of Liberians out of job and give them Liberian jobs. That's not possible, and that's not good for our country. We will ensure that the right things are done, and you will know that from the decision today, it will be communicated with your leaders and then as well with the president.
He is Grand Jita County District 3 Representative Jacob Debbie earlier speaking with voices of aggrieved commercial drivers. And now at this juncture we join Studio B where Roland James is sitting for the passion of K News Sports.
Thank you, Benjamin Keriba, and welcome to K News Sports. As the Liberia Football Association Montserrat County District League intensifies, defending champions District 7 along with District 9 have advanced to the semi-finals of the tournament. The qualifications of both districts to the semi-finals followed their respective victories over District 3 and District 12 in the first batch of quarter-final matches on Tuesday, August 5 at the Tusa Sports Pitch in Connellsville. Defending champions District 7 whipped District 3 3-0. That's Watanga FC winger Nuch Zion netted from the penalty spot to give District 7 the first half lead. Moments after the break, District 7 extended their lead by 2 goals, coming from FC Facile star Terry Sacco, which gave them the crucial win. On the other hand, District 9 eliminated District 12 3-1 to reach the semi-finals, thanks to goal from having 11 playmaker and current Liberian most valuable player, Yaya Belete, that contributed to District 9 victory. The decisive win renewed the hope of the District 9 boys for the championship after experiencing a tough start in the tournament. Speaking to K News Sports, after the first quarterfinal match, District 7 representative Emmanuel Dan expressed excitement about his District 3-0 win over District 3 and called on residents to rally behind the district in pushing for a back-to-back championship.
Well, it's an achievement for the people of District number 7, not so much about me. The people of our district, this is what they deserve. These people elected me to make the difference, bring changes, make them them happy, make them proud of their district. And so this is what we've been doing to ensure that the people of District 7 will be happy. The supporters will motivate the players, motivate the team. When I get in the competition, I don't joke with it. I have come to this tournament to retain the trophy. We are the defending champ, and I've come to retain my trophy and continue to turn it over to the people of District 7. Everyone here competing, so I'm not focusing on anyone. My team is well prepared. Our district is ready to retain our trophy.
The voice of District 7 Representative Emmanuel Dine. Meanwhile, the Liberia Football Association Montserrado County District League final batch of semi-final matches is on the way at the Tusa Sports Space this evening. In the first semi-final encounter on Wednesday, District 17 defeated District 1 10-9 on penalty shoot. The both districts locked down to a 0-0 draw before going to the penalty kick. Now District 13 is taking on District 4 in the last semi-final encounter at the Tusa Sports Pitch this evening that will complete the draw in the semi-final stage of the ongoing Liberia Football Association Montserrado County District League. Liberia representative in the CAF Champions League, that's in the Women's CAF Champions League qualifier, the Tamil Girls FC, kicked off their campaign on Tuesday, August 5, 2025 in Senegal with a goalless draw against Ram Kamara FC of Sierra Leone. The Liberia Women's Football Champions engaged the match with hard zest but could not find the back of the net, likewise their opponents Ram Kamara FC. The result led the both sides to share points in their opening encounters. The Tamil Girls prospect Diakta Lagamant emerged as the woman of the match after her outstanding performance in the goalless draw against their Sierra Leonean counterparts. Coach Rabon Latate girls will continue their journey in the CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers on Monday, August 11 against Oxford FC of Mali. 5 women's football champions from the West African Football Union Zone A nations, including Liberia, Mali, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and host Senegal, are participating in the qualifiers to determine the WAFU Zone A champions for the CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers. Tumete Weah, son of former Liberian President George Weah, has joined Olympique de Marseille from Juventus on a season-long deal. The agreement includes a $1 million loan fee for the 2025-2026 season, followed by a $14 million obligation to buy. Additionally, the deal features up to $3 million in performance-based and add-ons as well as sold-ons clause in favor of Juventus. The French side Olympique de Marseille reached a full agreement with the Italian club on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, to sign Tumete Weah. The US-based star Tumete Weah is expected to be unveiled in the coming days. The deal comes after 2 decades when his father George Weah, one-time Ballon d'Or winner, featured for the club in the 2020, that's in the 2000 to 2001 season. Here is a brief highlight from today's arrival of Tumete Weah in France to sign for the French club Olympique de Marseille. The highlights from fans there in France welcoming Tumete Weah after he went to sign his deal with Olympique de Marseille. Actions in the 2025 Liberia National Basketball League resumes this Wednesday, August 6, with 3 matches set to tip off in the men's first and second divisions, as well as the women's divisions. The day opening encounter is featuring Future Basketball Club and Highway Scarlet in the women's division. Later, Nat Reapers will go head-to-head with Global Phantoms in the men's second division. The day action will be climaxed with a battle between Spartacus and Bourgeois Bulls in the men's first division, who will battle it in the tournament at 7 p.m. later tonight at the SKD basketball gym. And on the foreign scene, hundreds of Valeria supporters have voiced their opposition to the imminent signing of Thomas Partey by signing a petition to stop the transfer. The former Arsenal midfielder is closing in on a move to the Spanish outfit after being granted bail while facing charges of raping 2 women, with the La Liga side set to face off against his former club on Wednesday night. However, some fans are making a last-ditch attempt to stop the move from going through. A petition titled "Say No to Thomas Partey at Valeria" has been started online and has over 800 signatures at the time of writing. Well, Benjamin Keiba, that's all we have from the sports desk.
Many thanks to Roland James for the passion of K News Sports. Roland James will return here Friday with a brand new edition of K News Sports. And now to draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News, we take our foreign development here, where Ghana's Minister of Defense and Environment have died in a military helicopter clash in the Central Ashanti region, along with 6 other people, a government spokesperson says. Defense Minister Edward Omani Boama and Environment, Science and Technology Minister Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, 50, were killed in the crash, which Chief of Staff Julius Debra described as a national tragedy. Earlier, the Ghana Armed Forces said the Z-9 helicopter, which was carrying 3 crew and 5 passengers, had gone off the radar. It had taken off from the capital Accra at 9:12 local time and was heading to the town of Obuasi for an event to tackle illegal mining. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6. It's been a joint effort from our News and Current Affairs Department here at Cool 91.9. For and on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Benjamin Gabriel Keiba. Good evening from Painesville.